Okay, hello everyone. I thought instead of just showing you guys slides of kind of what I'm doing is just to give you a little demo of kind of what my flip plans look like. So a lot of times I'll make my presentations first in Google Slides and then put them into Explained Everything. And believe it or not, I've gotten so good at this, I can do it kind of like these flip lessons in under an hour. I put this together in just about 15 minutes. So one way I incorporated the flipped lesson with my sixth graders is that I created multiple flip videos to help struggling readers conquer their individual reading time, and I have an example of that in the next slide. And I also created a flipped class for introducing a new grammatical concept with our seventh graders. We did this on the day that Melissa DuBose was actually out for WE Day, so we were able to use it while she was gone, which was great. So on this next slide, I'm going to show you an example of kind of what the reading looked like for my sixth graders. Basically, I just had the text in a PDF. I already had some of the vocab words, highlighted and all that kind of stuff like over here. But then I have this line, and I just made this with the shapes. And as I read, I would move the line down so students could, follow along with my voice. And then I would have an extra slide that would say, pause, go and fill out this vocab word on your worksheet. So that was actually pretty easy for them to follow with. As far as evidence, I did give out Google Forms to my sixth and seventh graders. I won't go over all of it, but I'll just touch on some of the highlights. So first of all, let's have some fun with this lightsaber. The first question was, how well did you understand the video lesson in comparison to a lesson presented in class? On a scale of 1 to 5, which 1 being more difficult and 5 being much easier. Most of my sixth graders ended up over here. There was about 7 over here, so I do need to think about what I can do for them. But my seventh graders really seemed to like it. Most of them landing in the 4 or 5 category over here. Another big question for me was, what made it easier or more difficult for you to understand the video lesson in your opinion? My sixth graders had some good insight. The first one said it made it easier to understand because then you could pause and think. Another sixth grader said it made it easier because when you read something yourself, you don't always understand it because you're thinking of something else sometimes. It's easier for someone to read it to you. And another sixth grader said, hey, there's no distractions of others. It was the easiest to concentrate and get things done. My seventh graders who had a little bit of a different lesson, not the reading lesson, but kind of more a traditional grammar lesson, they said, I liked it because you can go back and learn concepts that you couldn't understand after someone told you one time. Another seventh grader said, I went at your own pace and you could pause and stop it based on what you needed. And but one seventh grader did say, I think it was a little bit harder because I couldn't ask teacher any questions that I had because she was in a video, not in real life. So I think that probably applied for Melissa's class and she was absent that day. But I think that's definitely something I'm looking to grow on in the future. One thing that I learned is really important is to have FaceTime with the students. That's something Melissa and I came across in our research, is that FaceTime really engages students. So that's something I've found to be really helpful and that I plan to continue to use in the future. And in addition, one thing that I'd like to work on is, even though kids don't feel like they have the opportunity to ask questions, to really encourage them to do that, because that is one of the big things that I want to happen with my flipped classes, is that when students get stuck, they can either watch it again or raise their hand and ask for help in class. So those are definitely 2 things I'm going to be focusing on moving forward. All right, if anyone has any questions, just let me know. I am definitely far from an expert, but it's been really fun kind of getting to know, explain everything a little bit more, and I'm definitely going to challenge myself to look into some other resources as well as I continue.